Hello. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Uh,
Good morning.
so have you tried yesterday's configuration? Have you created some users and provided them rules? How many of you have tried?
Yes, I tried.
Okay. Any difficulties or anything that you need to
Mm,
ask about
No,
that? Okay,
I
thank
tried
you.
user role and groups, so it works fine.
Okay. Yeah, we were yesterday discussing about the groups,
Yes.
why we should actually add uh, rules to the groups and not directly to the users. The reason is, let's say, so ideally, even in the organizations, users gets added to a group. Let's say one person is added to a help desk group, and then there is an application support group. So let's say he might there are some of the rules that additionally needs to be added into that particular group members and not for other group members. So we directly add those rules to the group itself and don't go to each and every group member and add rules to their profile. So we tend to go directly to the groups and add those rules to that group, and all of the members in that group will directly inherit the rules that are present in their group. So this is the reason why we actually add rules to the groups.
So group is
If any new person added to that group also, like it will be effect to that person also, right?
Correct. You can add or remove any person into that group, and he will inherit those particular rules.
Okay. We no need to add the rules every time.
Correct.
We
Correct.
add the member to the group, that's fine. Yeah.
so
Let me
group is
also.
so
Yeah,
group is basically a combination of roles to perform a specific task.
that is correct.
Okay.
So a group might have all or some of the roles. Let me show you actually. What is it? So if you open groups into user administrations or somewhere system security, both of them you can find it, and you can create your own group. Let's say I'm trying to create one help desk group, naming my help desk, right? And I created this one. Clicking on save, this group will be created, and I can directly assign these roles to this particular group, and all of the members who are part of this particular group, they will be directly assigned these roles. So let's say I'm now doing ITIL for this help desk, and now, okay, they have been queued. They will be added after a short while. Yeah, so one role ITIL is added over here, and these are the members, group members. You can bring them or you can create new group members. Let's try to find all of the group members we created. Uh, okay, let's. There was one more thing before bringing these members is to what I noted down was importing users from Excel. So you can go to this user table. Okay, there is one more way of going directly into a table is either you can go and find user like this and go to user administration and users. And the other thing is you can actually directly type the name of the table, says underscore user, and
Got
you can
it.
dot list. If you type dot list in a small case, it will open in this particular window. If you type dot list in caps, it will open it in a new window. So this says user table is now opened in a new window, and yep. And if you directly type sys underscore user dot list in a small case, it will open over here only. It will not open in a new window. So let's go to that new window. So we wanted to import. So I have created one Excel saying users. So there are actually multiple ways of importing user. A very simple way I'm showing you is this one. So I have created one Excel which contains the user ID, the first name and the last name, and created these 10 users uh, with user one and the first name. All of them are user, and the last name is the distinguish factor, which is the number. So you can go to any of the field and click on this and click on import. When you will click on import, it will ask you what do you want to do and how do you want to import the data inside this particular table. So do you want to create an Excel template to enter the data or not? So if you click on this create an Excel template, it will try to create a predefined template for everyone who is trying to import data inside ServiceNow, and they can utilize this template and fill up their data. So even if you open this particular template, let it download first. Mm,
So does this template also tell us what type of the field it is and which one is
correct.
mandate?
Not mandatory. It will give you all of the fields, and you can fill up the data that are required. So you can also see in this user table there is nothing mandatory.
Okay.
If you go, only the thing that ideally should be mandatory is the user ID to log in. Mm. This is a user table, and if you open any of the record, nothing was mandatory at all.
So
So
even user ID is also not mandatory?
no, it's not mandatory over here, but yeah, it should be there. If you'll try to save something, it will not allow you to save. Let's say whether it is allowing you. Okay. Ha. So currently it is not mandatory. You can see one more user is created. That is an empty user without any user ID. See this 631 user is created. So as of now, there is nothing mandatory into it, but the business can decide what are the mandatory fields that should be there. So you can change your mandatory fields and non-mandatory fields according to the requirement. Let me just delete this one. So we have this thing created. This is the template that was provided. So you can read through it. These are the columns: user ID, active, first name, last name, and email, and everything that you can fill, the max information that you can give them, you can fill into this particular sheet. Active, building ID, this guy, that guy, city, company, and all of these things. Maximum thing, whatever you can fill. But see, ideally, the thing that should be uh, at least it should be available for distinguishing thing is user ID and first name and the last name. So you can fill these things. Let's just find user ID. Yeah, user ID is there. You can provide the user ID, you can provide the first name, last name, and try to provide the answers, passwords into this sheet, and then import it. So I have created this sheet with these three fields only. Let me try to import this one. So to import, I can click on any specific field and click on import. I think it was there. Yeah, when you click on import, it will come to this screen. I will show you one more time. Any field you can choose and use these three dots and click on import. Now you don't need to create any of these Excel templates. Now you can directly choose your file. The file name was this guy, users.xls x, and we have 10 users. So if you upload, it will import the Excel. It will try to find out what are the field names that were there, and you can preview the imported data over here. And we have 10 records, 0 to 9. We have 10 records to be imported, and you can click on complete import, and it will actually import the data. You see, primary email device is created for all these users, and these are the users that are created. And now if you look at your sysuser table, in a new tab, you can see that we have 10 users added. Now they have become 640 users. And if you open any of these records, let's say I open user number 9. So user ID is filled, first name is filled, and last name is filled. Everything is mapped, and these users are created. Now coming to the groups that I was telling you, let's say I want to add all these users to help desk groups, right? If you open these users, you can see no role is assigned to these users, no groups, and nothing is assigned to these users. So these are basically self-service users only. They don't have any permissions. So when they log in, they will log in as an end user. They don't have they have only end user permissions. External user
Can we assign
permissions.
the group to all them together
Yes,
or one?
exactly. We can do that. Let me show you how to do that. So if you open groups table and go to user administration groups, try to open it in a new tab. And I created one help desk, yeah, my help desk group. So there is an already present help desk. This is out of the box. And I created one my help desk which contains ITIL role. Let's just try to find the difference between them. So the original help desk contain one member and no roles, right? So why this user one got added into it? Okay, that's not my user. That is an existing user. The user ID is help desk. So this user is added to a group but doesn't contain any role. So this is my help desk group which we recently created. We provided one role which is ITL role. Now you can go and bring members into this group. So you can try to find with our username, right? Our name, which was user 1, user 2, and user 10. All of these, you can select all of them and bring them to the right side. Now, what would happen is, if I click on save, all of these users are added to this particular group. This has been queued. It will take a few seconds if you reload. All of these users are added. And now if you try to open these users and see that these users are added to this particular group. This is help desk, my bad. Yeah, user.5 is the user that we created from Excel. And you see it is added to one group, which is my help desk, and all of the roles are automatically provided to this particular user. So you can add and remove users. You don't need to go to a specific user and remove all of his roles and everything. You can just directly pull him out of the group and it will be done. So that's why it is very necessary to assign the roles to the groups and then add these users into those specific groups. That's how it will help. It will remove a lot of burden from you, because you might not want to remove thousands of roles from thousands of users. That is not a very good practice. So we added these, and all of these new users that were created now have this ITIL role. They can log in at any time and they will be presented with their particular
So
modules.
if we want to remove any particular user, if you remove that user from the sys.user, user, it will remove from the group as well, right?
If you remove from sys.user, so let's just try to remove. Let's try to remove user number 4, right? Completely remove from the system. So we can go and delete it.
Yeah.
So if we delete this user, one notification device will be deleted, and probably yes, you're correct. It will be removed from that group also. So removing role. Every role is removed for this particular user, and at the end this user will also be removed from that particular group. So all of these roles are removed. If we close this, we removed user 4, right? So let's
Yes.
come to that group. This is the group. If you open this in a new tab, that's the group we created, my help desk, and user 4 is now removed from here. We don't find user 4. So yes, we don't have user 4. That user 4 doesn't exist, cannot log in, doesn't have any role. So
And
that's how you can delete it.
and one quick question: if we delete the group for any user, for example, if we delete for user 6 the group,
Yeah.
and then it will be delete all the roles as well.
Yes, correct. So this is user 6. This is saying user 6 has 41 roles. How he has 41 roles? Because he's a part of one particular group, which is this particular group. If you want to remove this user's particular group, so either you can go to groups and remove this specific user, or you can just go to that user into the groups related list. You can bring this group to the left side. Now this user 6 is not part of any of the group, and all of the roles will also be removed. So job added, and this is queued. If you refresh, this is removed from your group and all the roles are removed. So this is another thing you can try to do. That's how we basically add. So you can make him part of multiple groups also. Let's say we added him to my help desk group, right? So first we added him to my help desk group. All of you are aware he will be given 41 roles because ITIL contains and inherits the 41 roles. If I refresh again, you will see that 41 roles. And if I try to add him to another group, so this particular user 6 is part of different groups also. Let's say uh, application development. So if you add this, so this user is part of two groups, enjoys the privileges of these two group members also. So if you try to refresh now, the roles will be enhanced. So now this user probably the same roles it have, but yeah, he can do the task of this particular group also. Let me see. Okay, so this group doesn't have any roles. That is one big thing. I need to find some group which contains some of the roles. So yeah, this group was created, manager is this girl, and this has members but doesn't have any role. So if we try to give this group some role, let's say these are the roles which will come in. Let's say I try to give this guy some. So this was application developer, right? So let's try to give him all app related roles. This is for testing purpose only. These roles will be very carefully given to a specific person. These 6-7 roles we have provided. Refresh. Now this application development group contains these 6 roles, all related to admins. Now if we try to go to our user 6 initially was member of two groups, but having 41 roles because the second group doesn't have any roles. If you refresh, these roles will be added and their specific roles will also be added. Now this guy has 57 roles. Why 57? Because some roles have more roles inside it that gets inherited when you're a member of some admin group or something. So it includes all of these roles. So this is the reason why it is forcibly, imposed that you should definitely work with groups and not with roles. Mm. Uh, so this was one thing. Uh, any questions on users and groups and their roles and everything? You can try to play with these things. Whatever rule you want to give, you can just try to log in, impersonate them, and try to see what are the features they're having, what applications they have access to, what all they can do, and everything. So
Just want to add one more thing here. So I tried today to insert the data using insert XML, and I downloaded the data from other instance and then trying to add, and it worked fine.
yeah,
So yeah, I just found that one also. And so just like the question, is there any logs which we can check somewhere to find out which data has been inserted or something?
so yeah, there are import set logs. So when you actually import something, let's say this guy, you have imported something using an Excel, right?
Right, right.
That will be imported. And if you're trying to import using an import set, let's say there is one more thing, which is load data. If you try to find import on the left hand navigator, there is one
No,
application which is system imports its load data. You can, this comes as a part of integration. We'll learn this when we're doing integration. So there are some of the import sets tables. These are what do you say, these are staging table, what we call. So they are not directly impacting the ServiceNow tables because all of them are starting with IMP. We have given them the name UIMP and everything. So these all are import tables. So these tables are, what do you say, an alias between the original table and the integration that is running to. You can choose your data source. You can try to import users from any of these data source. Let's say you want to import them using JDBC, ODBC and other things. You can even try to import using Excels. And you can do the same import thing in here. So this is part of integration. We will try to import users from this one also. But for now, we're not touching it. And these import, whenever you run some imports and run some transform, it will definitely create the history and logs that whether you got any error or not, you can try to rectify them. We'll cover everything in import integrations section.